Texas Attorney General Greg Abbott, a Republican who is also running for governor of the Lone Star State, joins us now. Mr. Attorney General, welcome to the Fox News channel. First question, with the lawsuit against the feds, what do you hope to achieve and what can that do?
Well, we want to achieve several things. First of all, as you pointed out, this is a federal government responsibility. We have a situation where Barack Obama has literally turned his back on the state of Texas. He was here yesterday. He could have gone down to the border, observed firsthand what was going on, observed firsthand what the needs are and the resources that he needs to deploy in the state of Texas. Because he has turned his back on the state, because he didn't want a photo op, because he didn't want to address the problem, the state of Texas is having to step up and address the problem ourselves.
Well, he would
These
say,
are the things we...
Mr. Attorney General, he would say he's not turning his back. He's got this multi-billion plan that he thinks the Republicans won't approve.
His plan, for one, is all talk and no action. If he really wanted to do anything, he could have responded to my initial request that was sent to his office more than a month ago. I made a request to have the Homeland Security Secretary provide to the state of Texas the manpower we need on the border. And we've heard absolutely nothing in response, nothing more than talk from the Obama administration. Eric, what needs to be done is quite very simple. One, we need more boots on the ground. Two, we need more effective enforcement. Three, we're asking for the National Guard to come in. And four, they must go through the process of what Barack Obama has promised but has failed to fulfill, and that is the expeditious repatriation of these children.
Oh, why won't the Obama administration take those actions that you demand?
Because we believe the administration is showing they really just don't care. And what they're not realizing is the catastrophe this is providing for all the other children who are going to be trafficked into the United States, going through harm's way along the way that crime is going to increase because of it. You know, Eric, there was a report yesterday that during the Obama administration, there have been 600,000 people who have come into the United States illegally who have committed crimes since they have been here. And on top of that, there's an increase in the number of people coming from Syria, Afghanistan, and other nations that have ties to terrorism.
Well, you talk about crime and ties to terrorism potentially. There's a report that there were 16 young MS-13 gang members who were at one processing center in Arizona. And there's also other reports and fears. You know, you see these pictures of the heartbreaking pictures of the kids, but there are also fears that potentially criminals in these gangs are using them. Let me read to you an editorial from the Investor's Business Daily. It says, Border Patrol sources say some of the thousands of children flowing across the Texas frontier are Mara Salvatruca's gangster enforcers. That's MS-13. It figures no one benefits more from Obama's open-door policies among these illegals. There are gangs that profit from the misery and that they are a threat to the U.S. Ground zero is El Salvador, which has shipped as much as a third of its population to the U.S. and relies on their remittances for 16% of the nation's GDP. Democrats dangle amnesty to illegals here. It's enabling the very gangs whose strength now grows with every illegal border crossing. Mr. Attorney General, has there been any evidence yet that you know of that there are criminals or gang members in these groups? And is this something that law enforcement authorities are investigating?
The answer is absolutely yes. There have been reports in Texas of this very dangerous, it's probably the most dangerous international gang there is, MS-13, where MS-13 members come in across the border who claim to be under the age of 18. They walk right up to Border Patrol agents, and Border Patrol agents can tell by the tattoos and other identifying information that they are MS-13 gang members, and they have to let them go into this processing process. And as a result, they are being able to come in across the border illegally, but maintain now presence here in the United States. And so and you need to understand, this is something that's not localized to the state of Texas. The largest gathering area for MS-13 is actually around the Washington, D.C. area, within about a 100-mile radius of Washington, D.C. This is very, very dangerous, and it's a game that is being trumped up by the cartels who are importing the MS-13 and other gang members into the United States. And so that's why we're saying that Barack Obama is causing imminent harm and danger to the people in this country by turning his back on the border catastrophe that we're dealing with that he himself labeled as a crisis.
Well, if these gang members are in, and if they are gang members, they go through the process. What, they get a ticket, supposed to show up for an immigration hearing at some point? What are the chances of that?
Well, the chances are, if you look at the numbers, about a third of those people don't show up. And you can probably figure out that among the third of the people who never show up will be the MS-13 type gang members who are not going to show up. And that's why it's known as a permiso. They come to the United States, they get a permiso, which they construe as permission to travel about the country as they wait for their hearing, many of whom never show up to their hearing. And as a result, they will just live perpetually here in the United States in a way that is illegal.
Well, that certainly is troubling. And the vast majority, of course, are innocent children who, you know, trying to escape the poverty and the crime in their home countries, and the women. But, Mr. Attorney General, you've been down there. The president didn't see it for himself, but you have. Finally, what is it like, and what is the solution?
Well, for one, it is stunning. I have been both in McAllen, right where the largest area where people are coming across the border, and I've been at Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio, a location to which they are moved. And it is nothing short of stunning, and the president would have been moved had he seen the large number of people. Eric, sometimes there are far more than 1,000 people apprehended each and every day. And so we're dealing with a large number of people, and the solution is very simple. The United States has a fundamental obligation imprinted in the Constitution itself to protect and secure our border. The United States of America must step up and do its responsibility, and it can start that process by, 1, deploying the National Guard on our border, 2, adding more boots on the ground through Border Patrol, 3, providing the resources we need to expedite the hearing process of the people who have come here in an unauthorized way, and 4, give us the resources we need to better deal with the growing criminal threat, growing potential terrorism threat because of the people who are coming across the border.
Well, it is stunning, and it is apparently overwhelming. Attorney General Greg Abbott of Texas, we thank you for joining us today on the Fox News Channel.
Thank you, Eric.
Arthel?